I had to admit something was wrong. I wasn't sure when, I wasn't sure how. I just knew somewhere in my 31 years, something was wrong. So in January of 2020, I decided to go to therapy. During one of my sessions, my therapist told me to write a letter to my 6-year-old self. And to be honest, writing this letter has been hard because my 6-year-old self had so many dreams and aspirations of who she was going to be at 36. As children, we're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? We say something exciting like a doctor, lawyer, astronaut, police officer, firefighter, even a famous person. My little 6-year-old self, I wanted to be a teacher. I remember learning something new in school and being excited just to line up my stuffed animals and teach them like they were my students. I remember the honor of being a primary Sunday school teacher in my home church. And I still feel the joy of receiving a scholarship to pursue my dream to be an educator. I got the degrees. I landed the jobs. I did it. I became a public middle school teacher and assistant principal. I just knew that I would retire with at least 25 years in public education. Have you ever worked your entire life for something, prayed about, sacrificed for, only to realize once you got it, this ain't it? Or maybe you stayed at a job because this is all you've ever known, or the timing wasn't right to make a career change. I want to share the framework that helped me step into my new chapter, N.E.X.T. N.E.X.T. Notice, express, exit, thrive. In notice, we notice the chaos at our jobs. You probably have a group chat with your coworkers just texting away about the shenanigans. But for some reason, we stay. Maybe because of the pay, maybe because we've got some coworkers we enjoy working with, or maybe we just don't know how to pivot. I noticed that my job was costing me my joy, my peace, and my health. I noticed that I was refereeing more than leading in my building. My days consisted of drama and fights. I noticed that I was convincing myself every year, Brittany, next year will be better. But I also noticed I was grieving. Not just the loss of my loved ones, like my Grammy, my nanny, and my childhood best friend, Mikey Pooh, but also the loss of a dream that I'd nurtured since I was 6 years old. The truth, my dream became a never-ending cycle of chaos. And finally, I had to answer my therapist's question. At what cost are you willing to pay to continue to do this? The price was too high, and it was time to move on to the next. Express. Therapy gave me the courage to say the hard parts out loud. Statistically, only about 25% of Black Americans seek mental health care. Culturally, therapy isn't something we do. But expressing my fears, my doubts, and my frustrations to my therapist and my husband are things that help me to step on. My therapist, she listens to my words, observes my body language, and my breathing. And as uncomfortable as sessions have been, I've put in the work to overcome my abandonment, boundary setting, people-pleasing, and self-identity issues. April 25th, I went to an educators conference. I left buzzing with energy and joy. But on the drive home, that feeling just went away. Monday was looming, and so was the anxiety. So in the midst of all of this heaviness, I did what any adult would want to do. I took a nap. But when I woke up, I still felt heavy. My husband saw it on my face. I'd expressed the highs of the conference, the dread of returning to work, and feeling lost. Then he said the words that would change my life. So quit. And in that moment, I had to confront every reason I was holding on to this dream. The students, my team, my financial fears, and the identity that I had built. But on April 28th, 2024, I decided to move on to the next. Exit. Turning in my resignation was the best thing for me. I had no backup plan, just big faith. At times, I felt that I failed because I didn't make it to retirement or that I disappoint people, especially little Brittany. But here's what I've learned. Exits are not failures. Let me say that again. Exits are not failures. Sometimes the bravest things you can do is leave what you've outgrown. And to be honest, there were some mixed reactions, shock, disbelief, and some joy. Then I got the question, well, what's next? My answer, I don't know. But that was okay. By July, I was second-guessing my decision. But meditating on scripture, praying, and my gospel playlist reminded me to be still and just know. Little did I know that my new chapter would begin August 12th, 2024. Thrive. 1 year later, I am thriving in a new role in higher education. I've discovered new hobbies. I sleep through the night, unless I'm binge watching a show. And my joy and my peace are no longer conditional to Friday afternoons. I may not be writing lesson plans anymore, but I am still making an impact on future generations. And the biggest highlight was traveling 8,528 miles, guess where? To New Zealand. There, I went zorbing. So zorbing is when you are rolling down this hill in this big old ball with a little bit of water. And I also dropped 229 feet from the world's largest bungee swing. My job may not be perfect, but right now, I am living my best life. So to my 6-year-old self, thank you for laying the foundation of the Brittany Nicole dream. I've got it from here. So what about you? Where in your life are you ready to move on to the next and just don't know where to start? Where are you telling yourself next year will be better, but you already know the truth? If you find yourself stuck in a place that no longer serves you, notice, express, exit, thrive. Your next may be the beginning of your best chapter yet. Thank you.